Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you guys very much for joining me. Today is Friday, March 28th, and there is football today. At some point, there will be football at some point today. We're doing a little bit of a bird's eye preview here, and I think probably the most notable thing that we should talk about is just kind of maybe it's not the most notable kind of a thing, but it's probably the most important. That way you can actually like plan your day around this shit. The game is in Houston. The Battlehawks are playing the Houston Roughnecks in Houston. The game's supposed to start at 7 p.m. Central. But looking at NOAA's forecast, it says a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 7 p.m. Showers, fine. Thunderstorms, that's going to be a hamper, and that's going to slow everything down. Then showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. So I do think that this game is going to happen. I don't know why they would rain it out. That seems like that would be a really bizarre thing. But as far as when the game starts, maybe I would assume maybe closer to 8 rather than 7 if there is lightning delays and all that kind of stuff. So just keep that in mind. But you're here, and I appreciate that. If you're listening to this and you want to watch it, you can do that. You can go to Solid Pod on YouTube. If you're watching this and you want to listen to it, and it's fine, whatever, I guess. But you can do that too. It's at Solid on Apple and Spotify. Okay, bird's eye preview time. I was trying to think of the best way to kind of start this whole thing, and I think it's as far as what I want to see in this game. I think that's the direction I want to go with, because this is a first game of a season. There are a new offensive coordinator for the Battlehawks, new quarterbacks, and they're playing an unknown quantity in a team in Houston. Let's start there first. This Houston team. So last year they were 1-9. And when this is like they're in like that USFL conference, so the Battlehawks only played them the one time, and when they did play them, Battlehawks won 22-8. Just absolutely kicked the shit out of them. This was the game, if you don't remember, this is the game where Hakeem Butler tried to hurdle a guy, and then didn't, and landed on his head, and it was like, oh, is he dead? And then he's not dead, but it looked like he might have been dead. So that was this game. They just beat the absolute shit out of him, left and right. It was fun to kind of rewatch that thing. But as I did rewatch it, and I was like, this doesn't mean anything, because Houston went under some pretty massive changes, like roster wise. I counted it. They have 6 new starters on offense and 6 new starters on defense, which is a crazy amount of turnover. So it's like, yeah, the Battlehawks beat the fuck out of them, but like those guys, it's just not even the same team. They kept they kept the head coach though, which is fun. The head coach's name is CJ Johnson, and that's kind of just a dumb name. I think if you're doing initials, I think if you're doing an initial name, you don't get to have your last name start with the same letter as the second initial. It'd be like a guy named DJ Jones. It's like, no, that doesn't flow. It's not like CJ Johnson. Like, get the hell out of here with that. I don't. But anyway, I have a very I don't want to say call it a strict rule, but I have a philosophy that if pretty much if anybody's bad at their job, they should get fired. And when it comes to coaching football, if you're a bad football coach, bad football coaches on bad teams tend to get fired. Curtis Johnson, worst team in the UFL last year, did not get fired. They're just like, fuck it, let's bring him back. Can't go worse, can it? And that's valid, I guess. I guess that's valid. But the new guys they got, the biggest one is they got a new quarterback. New quarterback that they got going on right now. His name is Anthony Brown. He was the one, I believe I pulled this up. He played in 2022 in the NFL for 2 games in early December and I'm guessing that was week 18. And in week 18 against for the Ravens, he was, I should say this, he was Lamar Jackson's backup. And this is when like Lamar Jackson's like having all that diarrhea and shit like that. But he played in 2 games in the NFL in 2022. That's the only games that he's played. He's from Oregon. He's 27 years old. In those games against the in week 18 against the Bengals, he was 19 for 44, 286 yards. That's a 43.2% completion percentage, which is really bad. 2 interceptions. He got sacked 4 times. He didn't carry the ball at all. And then whatever week this was in December, he played the Steelers. Ravens won that game. Ravens won that game 16-14. This doesn't seem right. Okay, because he didn't even play the full game here. Because Tyler Huntley played some of this game. Snoop Huntley, Pro Bowl quarterback Snoop Huntley, played some of this game. But in this game, Anthony Brown was 3 for 5. So he's really only played in 1 game in the NFL, and that was against the Bengals in 2022 in a Week 18 game. So who gives a shit? Okay. So the whole thing here is that they had this other quarterback. They have this other quarterback, Nolan Henderson, and he had been getting like all of the starting reps through their training camp, through the Houston's training camp. And then like a couple days ago, they just went out and said like, actually, you know what? We know that Nolan's been getting all these practice reps and everything, but we're gonna give the job to Anthony Brown. You can say like, okay, Anthony Brown won that quarterback battle. But if they're giving all the starting reps to one guy and then the other guy gets it, to me, that sounds like Nolan Henderson lost it. Anthony Brown didn't win the quarterback battle. Nolan Henderson lost it. And you understand that there's a difference there. Like you can absolutely fuck something and then somebody's like, we can't have this guy that's fucking everything. We can't do that. We can't have that guy be our guy. Let's give it to the guy who fucked less. Let's give it to that guy. So I think that's me reading between the lines. I don't know if that's actually what happened, but by the way everything kind of played out, that sounds like that might be what happened. I hope that's what happened. Because that would be really fun to have like not the one big change, because they, again, 6 new starters. They got a newish right tackle. He was their backup last year. They got a new right guard. Their center is back. Their left tackle was their left guard last year, and then they got a new left guard. I mean, this stuff doesn't necessarily matter to you, but like that's what I'm saying is like it's like structurally completely different. It's not like they got a few new pass catchers and stuff like that, and it's like they saw their offensive line and they're like, we got one guy who's good. The backup ended up being better, and all this kind of shit. They are returning Justin Hall and Kiki Chisholm, who are 2 pretty good wide receivers. So I imagine I think Kiki Chisholm was one of the like leading wide receivers in the UFL last year. Let me see if I can find this tab real quick and pull it up. I'm not going to. Just he's good. He's good. He's a good wide receiver. And he did have some decent yardage and some good plays against the Battlehawks last year. Again, new quarterback who hasn't had that many reps with them. Who really knows? And it's going to be in the rain. Like, that's the whole thing with this. Is there's just so many goddamn variables. That's like I don't know what the hell is actually sticky with this. The Battlehawks do have it is a good thing that the Battlehawks are playing this team this week. It's like this is a non-conference team. It's in the rain. It's week 1. the Battlehawks have a new starting quarterback or quarterbacks. It's like, man, I just don't know. I don't know what the hell we're actually going to see with this. Like, I can't. What was that? Was that also in 2022 or is that 2021? There was a week 1 game. The Bears were playing the 49ers. And the Bears ended up winning that game, and it was an absolute piss storm. And everybody's like, "Oh, maybe Justin Fields is turning it around. Maybe he's finally got it." And then it's like, "Well, no, the Bears still suck shit, and Justin Fields wasn't that good." It's like there's so much weird shit that can happen with this. I really wish I had some kind of idea. I guess their running back is a new guy, Lorenzo Lingard. It's just, let's see, do I have his size? I don't even have that pulled up. Lorenzo Lingard. Whatever, man. I just don't know. Maybe this guy's good, but he's playing behind a new offensive line. It's like, and it's in the rain. Who the hell knows what's going to happen here? I do know that C.J. Johnson said that he wanted to be able to kind of open things up with Anthony Brown on the ground using his legs. I imagine the running game's going to be a big thing in this game. It's just there's so many things, man. I mean, you understand. It's rain, new quarter. It's everything that I've said so far. But that's what they got going on offense. It's kind of they're just throwing shit at a wall at this point. And I'm not entirely sure they know what the hell they're doing. On defense, like I said, they've got 6 new starters. New defensive end, D tackle, another defensive end, cornerback. Save their entire secondary is guys that were not starters last year. The only one of their safeties came back, Markel Roby. Markel Roby's actually an interesting one. He led their team in tackles last year, and he had 3 interceptions and 8 pass breakups, which is, I mean, that's good. He has actually had an interception on A.J. McCarron in the end zone in the first quarter last year. He's good. If he's still feeling comfortable, if the Battlehawks do throw the ball, even though I didn't. Did I say what the wind? I believe it's looking like 12-mile-an-hour winds. Too. I just don't see the passing game being a real part here. So maybe the interceptions don't come into it. But he is a good tackler. You do want a safety who is a good tackler. The corner with defensive backs, a guy who like. The general idea is that if a linebacker gets a lot of tackles, that's a good thing because that means he's kind of coming down. Maybe not coming down, but he's making the. If a defensive back is making tackles, it means that they allow to catch. That's kind of the point there. With the safety, it's a little bit different because it's a lot of zone and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, you guys get what I mean. I'm not entirely worried about him, but he is a good ball player, and he is one of the 5 guys that is returning on this defense. Yeah, it's not really a frightening thing to me. They were a bad team. I think they are going to be a bad team. So that's what the Roughnecks got going on. I mean, it's just a shithole there, and it's going to be a shitty night too, weather-wise. For the Battlehawks, what I want to see is I want to learn something. That's what I want. What I want to come out of this game for the Battlehawks is I want to learn something about this, because the worst possible thing that can happen is we don't know and we don't learn anything about the quarterbacks moving forward. Because every time I think about it, the more and more I convince myself more and more that the Battlehawks are going to start Manny Wilkins. And Manny Wilkins is not a good quarterback. He was able to run a little bit, but even as a runner, he made bad decisions. I don't know why I'm saying poor, like I'm some kind of highfalutin asshole. He was dumb. He did dumb things. And especially knowing that Max Duggan is there, and we've seen Max Duggan be able to do things with his legs too. It's like I just don't see a world where Manny Wilkins has a higher upside than Max Duggan. And I mean, I know Max Duggan's floor is hell. given the national championship game in 2022, where he lost to Georgia. It was like 65-7, and he looks like he doesn't even belong on in public, let alone on a football field. I know the floor can be good, but that's Georgia's defense is the best college football defense probably in history. That did that to him. I've seen Manny Wilkins's floor when it's good weather, and it's just terrible. You got to think that Max Duggan has a higher upside than that. And again, Manny Wilkins, he's really, really bad. Does not do anything in the air. And in the last time that we saw him, he threw 3 interceptions, all I believe on the Battlehawks' last 3 possessions of that game. It's like, dude, I just, man, it's gonna not be fun if Manny Wilkins is a quarterback. Like, that's just not a fun brand of football. So I want to learn something about the quarterbacks. Man, with all the weather and everything, I keep going back to it. Is I just don't know if we actually will learn something. And then also, it's a shit team. So I mean, the best case scenario, team wise, is that I guess for the Battlehawks, the best case scenario is that Manny Wilkins takes over the ground and rushes for 75 yards. This is just quarterback wise, and rushes for 75 yards, and it's like, okay, Battlehawks win this game. What I would like to happen is that Manny Wilkins, and I want something definitive out of him. What I want is for him to be bad, and then the Battlehawks to be like, okay, we can't do that. We can't go back to that. Let's do Max Duggan. Let's just do that. Let's stick with that. But then you think about it, it's like, in a coach's mind, did Manny Wilkins stink because the weather was bad, or did he stink because he stinks? It's just a really, 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 really tricky kind of a situation. I like that the Battlehawks are returning not their entire offensive line. Everybody that's going to be a starter on the offensive line was with the team last year, which is a really good thing. 4 out of 5 guys are returning. Jacob Sailors is returning, which is really good. You like to see that. Where the do I have this somewhere? I don't. Oh, yes, right there. Yeah, Jared Jones-Smith, Steven Gonzalez, Mike Panashuk, Abdul Beecham, the right guard, is the one that was a backup, and then Jawan Bushell-Beatty, Jacob Sailors. I like a Jacob Sailors. Everybody knows I like a Jacob Sailors. It's just there's a lot that's returning on this offense. The only things that aren't is Frank Darby is going to be they have him on the depth chart as the wide receiver, starting wide receiver 2. And then, like I said, Abdul Beecham, and then obviously the most important position in all of professional sports is the quarterback. So yes, bottom line, I want to learn something. On defense, the Battlehawks, they're returning. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of their 11 guys. No, sorry, their entire defense. It's 11 out of 11. All 11 starters are returning. So we know that this defense can be good. I want to see them continue to make tackles. I want them to be able to shut down the run game, especially if you know that that's the way that this game is probably going to go. In the past, for the past 2 years, really, they've had trouble containing some of the I don't want to say better. That's probably the best word for it. They've had trouble containing some of the better running quarterbacks. But if you're able to kind of sell out on that and use heavy boxes, stay in a base defense where you can don't have to like go into nickel or anything like that. That's a good thing. I want to see the big bodies out there, and I want to see them be able to kind of shut people down. So yeah, I mean I wish that I had more for the first Bird's Eye preview. I really wish I did. Right now the Battlehawks are. Let's see if the line has changed at all. Scores. Battlehawks right now are 6-point favorites. Over under is 37.5. I was looking at this. That's the all of three of the four games this weekend are the over under is the 37.5. fewer than 40. We'll say that. It's 37.5, 37.5, 38.5, and then the Stallions defenders is 41.5. So they're projecting it to be a low-scoring game. I don't know if the weather really plays into that for this. I assume it kind of does. Like I said last time, the Battlehawks beat them 22-8, which I got to assume that the over/under was higher than 30.5. So I got to assume that game went under. The Battlehawks don't necessarily blow teams out, so the 6 points does seem a little far-fetched, especially for a team with one or two new starting quarterbacks. Defenses typically the offenses have to catch up to defenses. I don't know. I think that this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be disgusting looking. Maybe some big runs happen. I'm just wishful thinking because I'm fiending for more Saquon Barkley style things. Jacob Stalers isn't Saquon Barkley. Did play for the Giants for a spell, practice squad, training camp. So maybe something like that happens. Maybe we get something fun there. I don't know. It's going to be football. That's kind of the point here. I want to learn something and I want to watch football. That's kind of where I'm at with this. I do think that the Battlehawks will win this game. Which I just again, bad coaches should be fired. Bad coaches of bad teams should be fired. And C.J. Johnson was not fired, and he's still a bad coach. He's got a new team and all this kind of stuff. It's going to be like I said, their offensive line playing together for the first time, where the Battlehawks offensive line is going to be remaining the same defensive line too. You gotta think that the team that's gelling and has gelled in the past is going to beat the team that is just all brand new to each other. So that's my take on it. I think the Battlehawks win. I don't think that they're going to cover 6, just purely because we don't know anything about their quarterbacks or anything like that. I do think that the game is going to go under too. If I'm putting money on this, I'm putting money on the under. But I think that's kind of all I got for this. I wish it was more. And I hope that I have more for next week too. But we're not even worried about that. So, okay, here's the plan: is that this is the Bird's Eye preview. We do this, and then tomorrow night, at some point tomorrow night, depending on when this game ends. Like if the rain and there's a bunch of like stoppages and shit like that, I might be back with you on like a Saturday morning, to do my rehauction. It's like a pun. That's what I do is I do puns. That's why it's the highest form of comedy, they say, is I do puns for this shit. So it's a Bird's Eye preview, and then I'll be back with you for a rehauction. And then next week I will have my recop. I will do some awards. I'm thinking about kind of changing the format of that. If you this is a weird thing. I've never hawked this before. Did you? I just said that. I didn't even mean for that one to be a pun. Fuck me, dude. Hell yeah, I'm on it. If you've watched me for a minute and you liked the way that I did my my recop, kind of like going through like all the stat lines and everything like that. To me, that's not necessarily the most interesting thing to do. I understand that it has some value, and then kind of going into like how I think each position group played and players and played and stuff like that. If you like that, otherwise, I was thinking maybe like just come up with more awards and go through and make the award and use the awards as kind of like the vessel for talking and recapping the game. Let me know what you think if you have an opinion on it. If you're new and you have an opinion on it, like go in the comments and say that. That's what I was going to say. I've never hawked telling people to go in the comments and say anything. If you're new, say I'm new, but this is what I like. And if you're been watching it for a minute and you're like, hey, I'm not new and this is what I liked. That you did before. Just give me an opinion. I might take it into account. I might not, because that's who I am, deep down inside. But thank you guys very much for watching. Like I said, Battlehawks playing tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time. They're playing the Houston Roughnecks, who are a terrible football team. The Battlehawks, honestly, we don't know because we lost the one consistent thing that is A.J. McCarron. And, man, that's the kind of the thing. When I was going back and I was watching that game from last year, A.J. McCarron was fucking wheeling and dealing, dude. Like, there was one fade to Freddie Mitchell in the it might have been from like the 3-yard line or something like that. Might have been inside the 5. Freddie Mitchell ran this beautiful goal line fade, and he just takes a wicked just cut inside and then beelines to the outside to the back corner, and AJ just fucking threw a dime, baby. Just layered it right over, and it just landed right in Freddie Mitchell's hands, and he came to, oh man. And I'm just afraid that we're not going to have. I'm not afraid that we're not going to have that kind of play anymore. I mean, Max Duggan's a good quarterback, but he's not A.J. McCarron levels of accuracy and stuff like that, and kind of consistency and being able to command an offense. Oh, that was the other thing that I want to see. Okay, so the new offensive coordinator. Oh, fuck me. What the fuck? It's that Phil McCorgan. Phil McCorgan is the new offensive coordinator. Wide receiver coach before going into an offensive coordinator job. I want to learn something about how he's doing things too. I want to see what kind of play calls he's doing. I want to see if he can get them in on time. I want to see if, even just a game against a shitty team is going to be too much for him. Luckily, we do get to hear the play calls coming in and everything like that. So I think that we will be able to kind of learn some about him. If there is a spot where I'm the most confident that we'll actually learn something about this Battlehawks team, it's going to be with Phil McCorgan doing his play calls. I think that is going to be the thing that we learn the most about, and that's going to be incredibly important with a brand new play caller. So yeah, I think that'll be good. And then also last year with like the hot mics and stuff, ESPN was like, okay, people are like saying fuck and the N-word and calling people retarded, like way too much. We gotta cut this mic. We can't keep doing that. They're saying some really vile shit to each other, and our mics keep picking it up. And then they kind of like took away some of the mics that the players are wearing and stuff like that. I would really like it if they just were like, okay, maybe it'll be different this year. Maybe we should mic them up. I think that because that's great content. That's great TV. That is seeing people who are just competitors just dog cussing each other. I love that, because like with the NFL, you'll get like the mic'd up segments, but the teams get the final say. They get the final cut, the final edit with those, and like, okay, maybe we shouldn't put in this, but with when it's happening live, baby, oof. That's beautiful. That's some beautiful stuff. Okay, so that's where we're at. What did I say? I think that the Roughnecks stink. I think that the Battlehawks have an opportunity to be good again. I think that we'll learn about the offensive coordinator, maybe not so much about really anything else. I'd like to see the defense kind of continue to play sound like they did before. Yeah, that's what I got. Thank you guys very much for watching. My name is Jake. This has been solid. Go Battlehawks, go Birds, go Ironbirds. Really anything that you say to anybody, they're going to be able to translate that into, oh, this guy's a fan of the Battlehawks. Like I went to go get some pad thai for dinner, and when I walked in to the place, there's like a family of 8 sitting. It's not a good pad thai restaurant. Like the entire building, it's small and they don't play music, so like you can just hear conversations that everybody in the entire building is having. And this like family of 8 was like sitting right in front of the door. And I walked in and I had to like kind of move around and said, "Oh, excuse me," and they're like, "Oh, no, it's fine." And they scooted their chair, and I know that they did that because they scooted their chair because they're polite. It's like, "Oh, this guy's a Battlehawks fan." He said, "Oh, excuse me." Obviously, that means that he likes the Battlehawks. So that's anything that you say. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later, whether it be tomorrow night or Saturday. But we'll be back for a rehawction after the Battlehawks beat the Houston Roughnecks. I'll talk to you guys later.